Every day of the week will bring to you divergent views on news making the headline.
If people who commit crime are being rewarded with national honors, with national appointments, then where are we going in this country?
It's not about whether it was Jonathan or whether you are going to have a Buhari. It's the kind of political structure we run.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
We are talking about a Buhari who at 41 became head of state. The man did not exhibit the attribute of somebody that is strong intellectually.
So, comrade, you're saying if you become governor, you're going to bring back Okada?
Of course.
You will bring back the market women from the streets?
They don't put words into my mouth.
On Core Digest, we bring all of this to the court of public opinion, where you are the judge.
Welcome back. DIPO OLAYOKUN is a friend of the House who joins us on Core Digest today. Thank you very much for staying the course on the show. The People's Democratic Party says it's open to merger. Do you see that as the requirement for a formidable opposition at this time?
Yes, we need a formidable opposition. And unfortunately, the crisis that visited, or let me say, engulfed PDP in the past 3 years, especially, has really rather depleted the party. If you look at the configuration of the last election, you notice that PDP is now restricted to areas in the south-south predominantly and the southeast. You cannot have the traces of PDP anywhere in the north. That means 19 states completely taken where their presence is not really going to be felt. Then in the southwest, notice that they are only in Ondo and Ekiti state. And that is not how to have a formidable opposition. Don't forget that when we have these splinter groups in parties that we call the ACN, the ANPP, the CPC, you know, that was the confidence that PDP had that they were going to rule for 50 years, because it was not possible for any of those three parties to become so humongous that they will pose any threat to PDP. So I think PDP has come to realize that they have somehow been reduced to a regional political party. And definitely there is a need for them to reach out, because they need to increase their stature in terms of size. I think that's exactly what Sametu was trying to say, that they have come to realize that as it is presently constituted, PDP can never pose a threat to what is going to be a governing party, because APC said they will not want to be called the ruling party. So that's why some of us are beginning to even offer suggestions to them that if it is possible, because Nigeria should be thinking of having two serious major political parties. You can have some smaller groups that call themselves political parties that are only there to press for certain demand, as we also have in big democracies. But there's a need for us to have two strong political parties that can serve as alternatives. As PDP is presently constituted, PDP cannot stand or serve as an alternative to APC, because they have been really diminished in stature. And so if it is true that they are serious about it, some of us are beginning to suggest, if they only listen to us, that maybe they find a way of coercing parties like Labour Party, SDP, all the other smaller parties. No, I wouldn't want APGA to quickly lose their stature, or let me say their image.
Some would say that APGA has always been, PDP friendly.
Yes, no, the problem started when the former leader of APGA, that late Ojukwu, became more inactive in politics. When I say inactive, because when he was very, very active, APGA was able to dominate some parts of the politics of some parts. But the reason why I want APGA to really stand on its own, because whether we like it or not, whatever APC has become today, has been able to garner enough votes or spread their tentacle to the southwest, is because of the activities of the ACN. ACN has been able to establish that it represents, or it has the Yoruba interest, and anybody that looks at ACN from the Yoruba southwest perspective sees it as, oh, it's our party. So when they eventually moved into APC, they were able to establish that we are moving from Yoruba to APC. And that's why I want the APGA to also establish itself as a party of the southeast, because if you can, before you can go into a national merger, you will have to go from the position of strength. And if APGA is going to any merger now, they'll be going from a position of weakness. And
That's what I was about saying, that unlike the APC, do you think the PDP has, the luxury of party might, like what we had or what we saw in ACN, the CPC in the north, and the other parties that merged?
Yes, it is possible. That's why I said they need serious thinkers now.
But is a change of name really a very good step to rebrand for the PDP? Because a school of thought will say that the name PDP itself repels people. So
that's why it is very contradictory if you look at the statement that emanated from Olisametu about this matter of a thing. At the beginning, he said they were looking at possibly changing names, but later, towards the end of the press release, he said no, that the PDP is contented with that name. Like we have said, a lot of people believe that that name PDP means negative thing in Nigeria. But like I said, I am not a member of their political party. Maybe if they want me to offer them consultancy on how to rebuild, they will come and see me. But I think they need serious political thinkers now to take charge of the party. And I will still insist, the current president cannot take the party to any level. So they need, within that party, they will have some people. And they might even have to go into some research institutes to get people that can work for them so that they can really come out of the grave. As they are now, they are inside the grave.
Well, in the party now, as it is, are there prospective thinkers you think would actually rise up to resurrect
in the
PDP?
Party? Even if they don't, that's why I said if they don't have them within the party now, because they are still dazed by what happened in the last election, they could go into some of these research institutes and go and hire some people that will help them to bring the party back to life, even if it means going out of the country. Because why some of us are saying this is that, you see, what happened in the past 16 years and why Nigeria is in this state because of that. The PDP felt there was complacency on their part. That, whatever we do, we'll continue to win elections. They will look around, is it ACN that will have been able to displace them or CPC? But unfortunately for them, by the time they realize that, these people have come together, they are becoming like an octopus, it was too late for them. But that's why I said it is very necessary for Nigeria to have two viable political parties, because each of them will know that if I don't play my game very well in the next election, these guys will kick me out. So that will put them on their toes. But if you have APC as it is now, and PDP being heading the opposition, APC might become complacent. That they will not want to know that there is chapter 2 of the Constitution that talks about the fundamental principles and objectives of the state policy. Many of them don't know this thing. They have become so complacent that whatever they will give to Nigerians, they will not vote us out because we have tentacles spread all over the country. But if Nigerians make them to realize that there's an alternative, that any slip from you are out of office. Look at what is happening in Ghana today. As if they are rigging it. One party will rule for 88 years. By the end of the 8 years, another party will rule. And that is why there is serious competition.
And there's been smooth transition.
Yes, because it has become part of them. It's like a culture to them. It is not somebody who lost election, he made a call to the president-elect, and people started calling him a hero. A hero over what?
Probably
you lost an election. You call the person, because it is happening for the first time. And Nigerians, we have a short memory. It is not the first time it will happen. The former governor of Ekiti State was the first person to do it last year of the election. And nobody is talking about this one again.
We all know how it eventually, ended.
Like how?
It didn't end the way it started. Of course, initially he invited Fauci to his office, but afterwards you also are aware of.
No, there's a difference between the party and if you listen to Fayemi when he made that message.
As then they've been against each other on the front pages of the papers.
Yes, that is politics. But he said he did it for something because he knew that they had overtaken his country. His state, the military men, that they have deployed them to his state, and he knows his people. That if anything happens, the soldiers will continue to kill them. So to nip that in the bud, he quickly made that call. So I think that is the person that Nigerians should be celebrating, not this one. But that is not the issue we are discussing.
Do you see these developments rather impact on party ideologies? You recall that has been one major topic for discussion. How about it's quite easy for Nigerian politicians to move from PDP to APC and APC back to PDP? Are we looking at a situation whereby we will now be able to clearly identify who the conservatives are, who the progressives are, from all of these?
No, I think the problem started from the very beginning of this current dispensation. Don't forget that when the military became like an albatross and Nigerians wanted them out, especially after Babangida Abacha, Shonekon, then Babangida, Shonekon, Abacha, and Abukadiri. There was, like, Nigerians just wanted the military out. Then there was a group of eminent Nigerians that called themselves G18 initially. Later they grew to become G34. Alessa Kweme, Bola Ige, and a host of others. These people were the first set of people that formed a political party called PDP. This PDP came out of that G34 arrangement. But along the line, their differences emerged. And the same person, Bola Ige, that wrote the constitution of PDP, all of them now moved, some of them moved to APP. He also, based on what he did in PDP, also wrote the constitution of APP. But along the line, the progressive and radical nature of the Yoruba politician came up. And they found APP uncomfortable for them to remain. Some of them now pulled out and started AD. The same Bola Ige wrote the constitution. So you find one person being the architect of the constitution of about 3 political parties. So definitely it will be the same thing. So as if they started with PDP, some of them moved to ANPP, some of them moved to AD. That is exactly what is happening today. That's why it is convenient for somebody to be in PDP in the morning 7 o'clock. By 12, he has become a member of APC. By 3 p.m. again, he has become the member of it. Because there is no serious demarcation between these parties. Their origin and their source is from the same place. So maybe along the line, I know there's going to be what we call political re-engineering or realignment that will now be able to compartmentalize the progressives in one camp, the reactionaries in one camp. Then that's when we can have clear-cut ideological-based Nigerian political parties.
Because for now, what we seem to have is a situation where people tend to vote for personalities, not necessarily the identity or ideology of a political party. But there are some who are even saying, if we can quickly take a stroll from the PDP to take a peep into the APC, that even the APC parades itself as progressives. The man at the center himself right now, according to many, is being referred to as a conservative.
No.
I am referring to the president-elect.
No. Those who have followed Buhari's antecedents has the traits of a progressive. Who is a progressive? A progressive must have the interest of the masses at heart. A progressive must not be self-centered. And a progressive, to some extent, must not be flamboyant in his lifestyle. And these are the attributes of what you can find in Muhammad Buhari. We are not doing a dissection of the man called Buhari anyway. But the point is, whether you're a progressive, a reactionary, or conservative, the Nigerian Constitution is the one that's the document that is guiding the operations of people in government. And like I said initially, there's a chapter 2 that's expected to dictate the activities of government. What is expected of a government, beginning from section 13, that talks about the 3 arms of government, that they must do things in accordance with the Constitution. Then you go to section 14, that talks about the primary purpose of government, which is security and welfare. So by the time you now go into section 15, we're talking about national integration as the responsibility of a government. That is why some of us felt very bad with the outgoing dispensation, where the issue of ethnicity, the issue of religion, the issue of social class was promoted to a very dangerous level. Because if you have an officer of the state in Nigeria telling Nigerians that the president is being persecuted because he comes from the minority, in other country, that person should have been arrested. And you find somebody close to the president saying that. So the outgoing administration really did a lot of damage to national integration. And that's one of the reasons why the owners of Nigeria said these people have to go. After that, we're not talking about the expectation from government. Government is supposed to give you health services, education, culture, and stuff like that. So if you are looking at this as the basis of government, it doesn't really matter where you belong, whether you belong to the progressives, you belong to the conservatives. What is expected of you is you must give to Nigerians what the Constitution says you must give to them. But as we progress, because don't forget that some people still believe this our democracy is nascent. After 16 years, I don't know what they're talking about, nascent democracy. But I think we will get there. where we'll be able to compartmentalize our individuals into their various economic and social beliefs, where you can have really progressives being one political party. But don't forget that elections is a game of number. So if you see the APC allowing all manners of people to come into the party, it's because they needed to win election first. And then you can now begin to talk about, oh, this is where we are going to belong. And the president-elect said, they told us after his election, that those who came into his party after the elections will have to take a cue, because there are some people who really fought for this democracy, who really believed that, oh, this is what we want, and they believed in him. I think the primate of the Anglican Church said that many people believe that there's going to be a difference after May 29, because there's a need for Nigerians to know that there is government is about it's a serious business. This man has made a fundamental statement that if he becomes the president, the issue of the presidential fleet having 11 aircraft will not arise. That's right. It's only in Nigeria. Some of us would laugh when we hear such things. How can the presidential fleet has 11 aircraft? How many of them are traveling? And you know how much it costs to maintain each of these aircraft. The man said they are going to configure the aircraft and give it to Nigeria Airways. As of today, Nigeria Airways has no single aircraft. The giant of Africa that has no airline. And you see Egypt here, you see all these small countries, and we have our president that has 11 aircraft in his fleet. Doing what? The man said when he becomes the president, he's going to cut down the cost of governance. They have just told us that as the president is leaving, there is a variance package for them. It's about 3.something billion naira. Because the man himself has about 131 staff. A president. Doing what? You have the special advisor to the special advisor, assistant to the special assistant. You have somebody having 5 sets of staff. I was even looking at one card somebody gave me. Somebody called me the complimentary card, the wife or special advisor to the president. I said, what are they turn this country into?
Okay, let's get back to the PDP now. Now, the thing is, what impact will zoning have on the new leadership of the PDP?
Some of us, to me, I don't believe there's any evil involved in zoning. Because Nigeria is a very sensitive country. Let me give you an instance. When the president-elect released his transition committee, you know, instead of Nigerians looking at the personality of the people, some people have started counting, why do they have only 2 female in about 17 committee? Somebody said, why is it that about 18 Muslims, or people looking at certain number of Muslims, some people are looking at number of age people. That is Nigeria for you. You cannot blame them. So if there's a configuration or arrangement that says zoning, so that the constitution is very, very clear, I think section 14 or 15, that it is the duty of the government to make sure that every segment of society is involved. And I don't think the zoning is really the evil that we are talking about. The problem is that these people don't bring out the best. And I said, some of us have traveled all over this country. There's no part of Nigeria that doesn't have its best. There's no part. That's so when you get to this village, you cannot get anybody that can be one of our best. So if you are talking about zoning, I think what we should be doing is, if we are zoning, let us bring the best out of that place that this thing has been zoned into. And I think that's what Ashwad Bola Tinubu said yesterday, that they're going to look for the best. Even if you say, okay, the northeast is going to give us this Senate president, go and look for the best there. Somebody that has the acumen, that has the experience, that has the exposure to deliver. Not because somebody wants him, then you push him there, whether he knows it or not. Well, I think every part of Nigeria has its best. Let us use them.
Well, according to you, do you think the owners of Nigeria will make this happen? Yes,
that is exactly where I think we need to talk to Nigerians. If you look at the emergence of president-elect, I always tell people, if the APC thinks that they were the one that did the magic to make Buhari emerge president, they are deceiving themselves. It was a Nigerian project. I usually give the example of my pastor. My pastor is an extreme when it comes to religious belief. Extreme in the sense that, I'm sorry to say it, he doesn't believe anything good can come out of a Muslim. That is to the extreme he believes about his religion. But I was surprised about 3 months before the election. We were just talking one Sunday. He said that, bro, it's like Buhari is going to be the next president. I pretended as if I didn't hear him because he sounded unlike him. He said, bro, I was talking to you now, that we have looked at it. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Buhari's emergence broke a lot of barriers. So if any party is going to lay claim to him that they are the one that produced him, it's a lie. It's an idea whose time has come. So that is why Nigerians that put him there will have to take it that this is our government. How do we do it? Many Nigerians don't know that they can call their members of National Assembly or House Assembly to question. They believe that the moment we elect him for 4 years, he will go there and come back. We can recall them. Maybe Nigerians don't know. It's there in the constitution. If you are dissatisfied with any member that you have sent to the house, you have to do is get some people, organize them, write a petition. If you can muster enough number, send it to INEC. If you satisfy that's a condition, INEC will now organize a referendum and you recall him. Let us put these guys on their toes. Let us begin to make sure that this government belongs to us. If you don't give us, we don't wait for 4 years. And the executive, if the assembly cannot impeach the person, let us keep our voters card. In 2019, if they fail to deliver, we flush them out.
I'm so sorry, Mr.
the order of the owners of Nigeria.
That is Nigerians. Let me tell you one thing. We can take Nigeria back from them. But the problem is many Nigerians are not interested in Nigeria. They believe that government is, oh, they are there. I am here. I give myself water. I provide electricity for myself. When my road is bad, we organize some physically challenged to go and do the road.
I'm so sorry, Mr. DIPO OLAYOKUN. We have to take a break now. We have to wrap up this segment to bring in another issue. Thank you very much for finding time to join us on the show today. And we'll also believe that you'll be here subsequently. Let's take a short break and we'll be back with more. Stick around. Don't go away.
Every day of the week, we bring to you divergent views on news making the headline.
If people who commit crime are being rewarded with national honors, with national appointments, then where are we going in this country?
It's not about whether it was Jonathan or whether you are going to have a Buhari. It's the kind of political structure we run.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
We are talking about a Buhari who at 41 became head of state. The man did not exhibit the attribute of somebody that is strong intellectually.
So, comrade, you're saying if you become governor, you're going to bring back Okada? You will bring back the market women on the streets?
Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
On Core Digest, we bring all of this to the court of public opinion, where you are the judge.